Yes. Anyway, in the last class, we spoke about under the subject of operation management, what is logistics and what is the role and importance of the logistics cost calculation, and also we have seen that warehouse management. Now, in this class also, again, we are going to continue and talk on that. What are the major functions of the warehouse management? So, why should we maintain these warehouses? If you maintain the warehouses, what kind of benefits we are able to get it? As we discussed earlier also, the warehouse was established for the purpose of to receive, once we receive the raw material, we can able to store at the warehouses, or work in progress material also we can able to store at the warehouses. In the process of dispatching, before that temporarily also we can able to store all our finished products at our warehouses. So warehouses is a place where we can able to store, we can able to keep any kind or any stage of product, we can able to store at the temporarily at these warehouses. Now we can able to see the first function also that was talking about the storage of goods. We are having any number of products we are producing. Now all these produced products we need to be selling in the market, but we don't have huge demand in the market for our products. So what we are doing, 100% we are manufacturing the product and we are storing at the warehouses. Slowly we are dispatching. First 20 percentage we are dispatching, 30% is dispatching, 60% is dispatching, 70% is dispatching. So at that time we are not dispatching all the products to the public. Temporarily we are storing all the products at our warehouses. So for storing of our products, for that purpose also we are able to encouraging these warehouses. Second one, production of the goods. At any stage, we need a strong protection, security for our products. Because with the help of these materials or with the help of these finished products, we are able to get by the profits. We are we are able to fulfilling by our needs, requirements with the help of these returns. So it is a duty of the manufacturers or whoever involving. They need to be taking care of all these things. Protection to the products. That is your products or your material, or else somebody may store their products or materials also at your warehouses on rental basis. Because the warehouse is not only for us, sometimes also we are able to encourage by the other people also can able to use by the warehouses, and for that they will be paying money to us. But directly or indirectly, whatever it is, you can able to use by the warehouses, but you need to give optimal protection and security for the warehouses. Third one, to maintaining of the warehouses, which is going to be involvement of the risk bearing, because any business will not be run in a sophisticated way. Every time we will be involving of the risk factor. Being the first nature of the businessman is ready to face the risk. What is the quantity of risk you are facing, and relatively you will be getting by the returns. And some business people, okay, if it is a risk oriented business, I don't want to continue, I will be simply exit. But long run he cannot able to sustain in the business world. You need to be taken by the bearing of risk. Next, identification of the goods. Once you are storing your products at the warehouses, you must be know that what is the nature of the product, whether which is a perishable product, consumer durable product, or industrial product. We must be know that and relatively we should be accurate. Identification of the product and storing at the right place is also to be an important part. That is convenience for the inventory manager also, because if somebody is acting as inventory manager, they cannot able to work into 24/7, so which is going to be work in a shift base. So what they will do in systematic way, they will arranging by the products so that they can able to identify the plastic products where we store, iron products where we store, or vegetables where we have been stored. So the nature of the product basis also we can able to identify by easily, and we can easy to dispatch the products to anyone also. Next, last but one is talking about financing. So when we talk about the warehouses, which is going to be involving lakhs and crores of rupees, simply you are making four walls and you are saying like this is a warehouse, people will not be accept, because warehouse will be occupying a bigger space, lighting facility, parking of your vehicles, loading and unloading facilities. They will be looking at all the facilities are really available or not, and relatively they will be showing interest. In India also we can able to find out the warehouses are occupying minimum of 1 or 2 acres land to 1,000 acres. Amazon, Flipkart, and all these people at a time, 50 lorries or 100 lorries are can be passing through your warehouses in that way. So, if you are constructing in that level of warehouses, which is going to be involving lakhs and crores of rupees. So, financing is also one of the important variable factor when you are going to be set up your warehouse. Last one is processing. So, what is the fundamental nature of the warehouses? To store your movable products by temporarily or by the certain time. Long duration also we can able to store it. Or sometimes what people will do, they will get all the semi-finished products and they were sitting at the warehouse and they will do the finished product. They will make it as a finished product. All semi-finished products are converting into the finished product. For that purpose also, we can able to use by these warehouses in effective. Now, next one, we are going to talk about inventory management. So, what is this inventory management and why we need to talk about inventory management is so important to us? So before I would like to continue and talk on the concept, there is a small video, 3 minutes video, which is going to be deal and talk on that. What is inventory management in very briefly, and after that we'll continue that my presentation.
Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday, where we discuss inventory management issues and we keep the concept small enough that we can fit it onto a whiteboard. I'm Kirk Tanner, and I'm Chief Marketing Officer at Fishbowl, and today we're going to talk about what is inventory management. Now, this drawing here is a very simplified version of what inventory management is, but it's good enough to get our point across. Let's start out over here. We get goods delivered that come into receiving. All these items in receiving eventually have to be put away on the shelves. And then later on, we're going to pull these items. Some of these items might be pulled to be used in the manufacturing process, or we might be involved in wholesale distribution and we'll just pull these goods and we'll send them out to our customers so that they can do things with them. Regardless, whether you're a manufacturer and you've got a finished good or you're sending out parts, all those pieces need to be shipped out at some point. A lot of companies will actually do a manual process to keep track of all of this and accomplish their business processes. Some are using an automated process. Let's talk about the manual process here for a second. This is very labor intensive. We've got a lot of data that we need to keep track of. This is only a small sampling of the data. Lot numbers, serial numbers, cost, quantity, dates for production, expiration, and shipment. When those goods come into receiving, that data needs to be captured for efficiency purposes and keeping track of your inventory. You move that from receiving over to the shelves, and you've got to update all this information that you're tracking. When you pull this, you've got to update it again. So again, if it's a manual process, you're involved in a lot of labor-intensive activity to move these items all the way through to pick, pack, and then ship them. That manual process is very labor-intensive. In an automated process, when this truck delivers the goods, you have a couple options. One, if it's a large shipment, you can move it right into receiving and then scan it with a barcode scanner and move it into these locations, scan these locations, and now your automated system knows exactly where all that inventory is. If it's a smaller shipment that arrives, you can skip this whole receiving area and just barcode it right into the places that you put it on the shelves, and you know exactly where it is, how much you have, and it's there when you need it. Now when you pull it off the shelves, again, you'll barcode it, it's updating your system, it's going through the manufacturing process, or you're pulling it for distribution. But this whole pick, pack, and ship process that ends up here, you're tracking all of this through this automated system so that when it ships out the door, all of your inventory is dynamically updated and is real-time data, which ultimately gives you better information. So our final math here in our accounting terms is we want to increase our tracking efficiency. We want to do a much better job of tracking all the parts that go through your business. We want to decrease the amount of time you spend doing that. And the result of this is you get much better business information. Now, to run your business, the better the information, the better the business decisions you can make. So having this automated system becomes very, very valuable because of the reports that you can get. Of course, with better business information, better reporting, you get much greater efficiency and you reduce your costs and you have a much better run business. That's it for Whiteboard Wednesday. Join us again next week. Thanks.
So that's what his presentation, and he was talking very briefly about the process of the from initial stage to as well as in the initial stage of product, how the countries, in the Western countries, how the manufacturing process was going on. Now, well, we'll look into that. Our subject, which is going to be deal on the inventory management. So why should we talk about the inventory management, and why this inventory management, which is going to be so important for us to study it as a one separate chapter? From the beginning of this subject, I'm telling you continuously, inventory or the stock or the material is very, very important resources of the company. Based on this only, they are going to be educating the capacity of the or the quality of the company. And also, most of the companies for spending or to buy these inventories, they will be spending lakhs and crores of rupees. Now, the major element of manufacturing of the product, which is going to be called as a inventory and stock. With the help of this inventory and stock, only we are going to use by the other supporting aspects like machineries and labor, electricity, infrastructure, and other things, which is going to make the raw stage of product to as a finished product. And also in the inventory management process, one of the important element they were talking that as an important element of the supply chain management and inventory management. So why we are talking about by the supply chain? So where we can able to talk the role and importance of the supply chain. Supply chain is a vaster term, whereas from the raw material stage, raw material is available in one place, from raw material to suppliers, supplier transportation, finally reaching to the factory warehouse, then production department, finally manufacturing of the product. After manufacturing of the product, again temporarily we are storing at the warehouses, or else we are transferring to the agents, wholesaler, retailers, or to the direct buyers. Now, everywhere the whole process which is going to be covered by a single term, which is going to be called as a supply chain management. From a raw material stage to how the product was converted and that was reached to the end buyer, everything will be comes under a single content as a supply chain management. Whereas when it comes to the inventory management, so inventory management means the moment the material is entering into the workshop or by the factory, they are storing at the warehouses. The quantity which was demanded by the production department or by the operation department, the quality standard which are all required by the concerned department. Relatively, we are dispatching all the materials to them, and they will start to manufacture. And these everything will be considered under inventory management. At any time, the operation manager they may call and ask you, so what is the material stock? What is the material reserves we have as of now? What it was consumed and what actually we consumed in the last 5 years or 10 years. What is the quality of material? What is the price? Who are the suppliers of the material? So all this information will be carried out by a single person called as inventory manager. He will be having a full fledged data about by the inventory management related. So once we are storing, once we are selling, now the management will sit with the other executive directors and they will talk. What is the cost for us to buying of the material, and what is the price we have sold in the market? Whether we are getting profit or loss, will be analyzing by the inventory. Sorry, will be analyzing by the company executives. So here the production department and inventory management were the major role because major quantity of investment we are spending on these. So by giving these data and other departments also of course they were involving and will take the consolidated whole information. This is the total cost of the organization for the last financial year, and this is the sales turnover, and this is the break-even point for us, and this is the profit we got it from the last year. So they will be sit together and they will be analyzing. Now, we'll focusing on not hold by the logistics or supply chain or any other department. We are talking about production department. Production department under that we are narrow downing one important component or the sub department we can able to say, that is inventory management. Now, inventory management, what kind of objectives they will be having, will be maintained by inventory manager. Now, inventory manager, production manager, or any department manager, we must be understand one thing: whatever we are maintaining, whether products, reserves, or surpluses, or the futures of the product, all these things are ultimately to satisfy the needs of the customers. If the customers are unable to satisfy, then which is going to be clearly indicating that whatever the system you are following, that is completely failed. So you need to be much more focusing on what kind of system you are following, and literally you is focusing on that. What is a benchmark company and what kind of strategies they are following, and relatively you can able to compare it. So where there is a gap and how far you can able to fulfill by the gap, you need to have a proper planning, and so that relatively you can able to be strong in your department. Now, inventory management objectives under that, here I have listed out the four important points. We'll see the first one: minimizing unnecessary capital. So, sometimes what will happen? Lack of an experience, or because of the forecast and eye on future, the material prices are going to be increased, but it was decreased actually. So, we need to be know very clearly what is the quantity of amount we need to be invest on our inventory, what is the quantity size, or what is the investment we can able to spend on buying of the inventory, because instead of buying huge quantity of inventory, you can able to spend less amount, and rest of quantity worth of capital you can able to use it for some other purposes. For example, I'm going to buy 1,000 tons worth of coal, 1,000 tons worth of limestone or gypsum or something. Now, being an inventory manager, what I was thinking is, why should I buy this why should I buy 1,000 tons of material? Instead of that, I can able to buy 800 tons. So rest of 200 tons worth of money, I'm going to use it for some other purposes. So you are going to save unnecessary investing your money on inventory. You are diversifying into the some other purposes. Now you must be know that these 800 tons worth of coal, gypsum or limestone or whatever it is, how many months you are going to be used? Will it be come for 3 months, 2 months? That is fine. After 2 months, you can able to again invest to buy these products. So that also we need to be understand in very clearly. Second point is maintaining production. Being an inventory manager, you should not be say like there is a shortage of material is not available. It is a responsibility of the inventory manager to remind to the next level management, whether it is a production manager, operation manager, or whoever it is. It is a duty of you to remind to them at least 20 days before onwards. The quantity of material what we are having, that is not sufficient for the future. The existing material will come for the 15 days, 15 days only, 10 days only. We need to give immediate orders to the suppliers so that they will be delivering for us material. It will take 1 week time or 10 days time. So we need to convey the message to them. If in case the inventory management was saying the material was out of stock, then production will stop. Unnecessarily, we are paying salaries for the employees. On time, we cannot able to deliver the products, and many practical problems we are going to be faced. So, maintaining production by continuously is depending on the inventory management. So, being an inventory manager, you must be ready with the all the resources. Whenever they're asking you, you should be in the position of, yes, I have all the material, I can able to give it to you within 1 hour or half an hour. By saying these words in a bold way, you should be having sufficient resources. So all the time you should be maintaining sufficient stock inventories with you. Third point, you need to be a proper control mechanism to minimizing of your waste of inventory, losses of the inventory. This should not be happen when you are controlling, when you are playing an important role as an inventory manager. We are spending huge amount on inventory. The inventory is not in use, then ultimately it is a waste of your money, capital of the organization. So, being an inventory manager, you should be know that how to use in simply optimum utilization of the inventory. It should not be waste and it should not be loss. Of course, sometime what will happen, company will have abnormal losses. So these abnormal losses are we cannot able to control, but by taking the proper measures, normal losses we can able to control. So being in management, you should be know very clearly how to control of your wastages and the organizations. Next one, storage of items. So what we are going to be store. So we are storing up different materials, different materials. We are going to store it warehouses, or sometime what will happen? We are going to store mm, what is perishable products. So you should be say like in our department we are having a sufficient space. Even if you want to store your products for 1 year worth, 1 year worth also we can able to store all the materials at our inventory warehouses. So that much of big space we are having. So suddenly the boss was buying huge quantity of materials also. You are in a position to temporarily adjust. Temporarily you can able to store at your warehouses. So it is just like a space management. You should be strong enough on that. Okay. Next one is we are talking about what factors will affect inventory management. If you are acting as an inventory manager, what factors will influence you to manage to buy huge quantity of material or lower quantity of material? What is the quality of material you want to buy? Here, certain factors are there. First one, consumer demand. Consumers are happy to buy about your company products. Whatever products you are producing or manufacturing, it is just like a hot cakes to sell in the market. So while you are manufacturing the product, you are not even storing your product at the warehouse for the 3 hours or the 4 hours also. The moment the product was ready, immediately the vehicle is coming. Yes, we need your products, we need your stock for immediately to transfer to the wholesalers, dealers, and distributors or somebody else. So you should be in a position of that. We are having huge demand in the market. Now, being an inventory manager here, what is your role? Huge demand of your products in the market means your inventory will not be stored much more time at the warehouses or by the godowns. The moment inventory comes, immediately we will be moving or pass out to the production department for the sake of manufacturing. So here in this situation, what inventory manager will do is he will buy 6 months worth of material or 7 months worth of material. He's going to buy because there is demand immediately which is going to be dispatching. This is second one is completely contrast opposite. Here, whatever products you are producing, all the manufacturing products are we are storing at the warehouse for the 2 months because there is more demand for your products. Consumer demand is very low in the market. Nobody is showing interest to buy about your products. In this situation, what you will do? You will buy 1 month worth of material. This 1 month worth of material after manufacturing also is going to be storing at the warehouse for the 2 months. So in this situation, you need to buy lesser quantity of material you need to be purchased. In the first case, huge demand, so huge quantity of material we are going to purchase. Second case, very less demand, so lesser quantity of material we are going to be buying. So this is the first factor which must be known by the all the inventory managers. Second one, amount of inventory. So in the point of amount of inventory, what is the amount you are going to spend on buying of this inventory? You should be explained to them. And this is the amount I'm going to be spending on the inventory. Will I able to get proper returns? Of course, yes. If in case I'm unable to get by the returns, then why should I buy? Now, before I'm going to buying this inventory also, I will be have a talk with the other executive members. We are investing lakhs and crores of rupees on this inventory. Will I able to get the profits? What is the taste and preferences of our buyers in the market? Especially when you talk about the Indians are when compared to high qualitative products, they will be preferred to buy medium quality or by the lower quality products. So in this situation, what will happen if you are spending lakhs and crores of rupees on inventory to produce higher quality of material for manufacturing of the product, and these products you can manufacture, but the profit or the sales ratio is very very low in India because the income levels of the Indians are very very low. They cannot able to spend their whole 1 month income to buy your product alone because they need to sustain for the 1 month. So what companies will do, major quantity of products, even they manufacture, they will be looking to their exports to transfer all these products to the or export to the foreign countries to get by the returns. So that also should be observed by inventory manager before he is going to take by the decision. Third one is which is going to be talking about that inventory price. So inventory price which is going to be constant or which is going to be changed by frequently. If the inventory price is constantly for next 6 months or next 7 months, which is really good, happy to buy. But sometime what will happen, you will be understanding in future the products are going to be increasing. Guys, just a minute. So sometime what will happen, you will be understanding the prices are going to be increased by next month. You know that information and you will be buying huge quantity of material by today itself. So inventory prices also we need to be observing. But mostly what will happen, they will be having a contract. So what is the contract is like? So what is the contract is like? Next 1 year or next 3 years, we are able to supply the material to you by the same price. Same price. We cannot able to increase the prices. So like that, we need to be informed to them. There is an agreement, and based on that, these people will be happy to continue by the prices. Next, fourth point, management tools. So, in the term itself, they have mentioned very clearly these are not at all showing the direct impact on the products, which can be show that indirect impact on the material, in the indirect impact on them. So, what is meant by indirect impact? Because being an inventory management, while you are doing your businesses, while you are doing your businesses, you need to take assistance of certain other resources. So, what is the use of these other resources? By having by the other resources, your work will be very very easy because of we are having what we say like what we say like barcode and scanners. So the moment the material was entering into the shop, immediately we are scanning. And the scanning barcode itself, we have mentioned very clearly what kind of details are there, and same information will be feeding at our system. So in the barcode, we are feeding that what is the material and what is the quality of material.
இப்ப யாரும் போகாதீங்கப்பா, இருங்கப்பா மீட்டிங்லயே.
Guys, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Rahul. I think that you go with the just a minute. Okay. Yes, if the students also join in, 1 minute. Problem is in this laptop I don't have battery backup. The power goes out automatically. It can shut off. So when it comes to the management tools, the moment of material entering into the workshop or by the factory layout, we can able to see like that this is the quantity of material was entering into our workshop. This is the size of the material. This is the nature of the material, and this is the purpose of the material. This is the maximum life of the material. So based on that, the inventory manager will be preparing that how long I can able to store this material. At the same time, the moment material is dispatching, we need to fulfill by the many process. No need of that. Instead of that, we are going to have by the barcode. The moment material is passing from the workshop to outside, so red color line will be waving by continuously. So whenever the barcode comes automatically, it is going to be scanned and we'll be getting the full information about product. So For this purpose, also the barcode scanners can be used, and also for regular invoice purposes, they will be have printers, computers, and other software software kits. Everything will be maintained or will be having by the companies. Now, next one we are talking about inventory management process. So, why this inventory management process is so important to us? So while you are talking about the inventory management process, so what kind of material we are have and how we need to be dispatch the material. So for dispatching of the material, what kind of techniques, what kind of inventory methods we are having for dispatching of the material. Somebody may say like EOQ is the best method. Somebody will say SDE, FSN, ABC analysis, wet analysis, minimum and maximum analysis. These are the different views, different studies we are having for dispatching of the materials. Now, in this video, I would like to share and talk on that. So, first of all, what is this inventory management definition and by the brief objectives? Otherwise, I'm going to skip that and we'll be starting from the methods of inventory management. We'll see based on the time being, I'm going to skip it.
So they take finance integrated. That's every time you business opportunity cost to plan when to purchase and where to purchase to avoid both. Thus, inventory management is a crucial part of our business process.
So we'll see from the objectives.
Now let's move on to objectives of inventory management. So all we have discussed in summarized way: to maintain optimum inventory level to maximize the profitability and reduce the cost. Then to meet the seasonal demand of the products. So if we are not maintaining adequate inventory, we may miss on the demand. And that cost is referred as opportunity cost because we are missing on the opportunities of business because we are not having adequate level of stock. So missing on opportunity cost. To plan when to purchase and where to purchase. To avoid both overstock and understock of inventory. As I already told, if you are having overstock of inventory, your inventory may get spoiled, it may get damaged, or it is not used, so it has been worthless even after you have paid the cost to the supplier for that inventory. And if you are having understock, you may miss out on the demand which is there in the market for your product, and thus you may incur the opportunity cost. So you need to avoid both the situation of overstock and understock. To run production process efficiently, so your production process may be stopped, as I already mentioned, it may be hampered. So to run the production process efficiently, inventory management is required. To analyze and classify the inventory on basis of volume and value. So this is also an important part of inventory management where we will learn about ABC analysis, which is used to classify the inventory on the basis of their volume and their monetary value. So let's start with the first one, that is economic order quantity. Here we will try to estimate what should be the order quantity. Every time we are placing an order for particular.
So you just see this. After that, I will explain in a brief way with an example problem.
Stock, what should be the order quantity? Well, how much unit should be ordered of that particular raw material or the materials to be used in the production process. So economic order quantity or EOQ refers to optimum level of inventory at which the total cost of inventory comprising ordering cost and carrying cost is minimum, maintaining the forecasted demand adequacy. So there are things to keep in mind, like economic order quantity is optimum level of inventory. So we want to keep an optimum level of stock with us where the total cost of inventory. Now total cost of inventory involves ordering cost and carrying cost, which we already discussed. So these costs should be minimum, and minimum not in the sense that we are missing on the demand, but to maintain the forecasted demand adequacy. So demand should also be met, and we should minimize the total cost. So that quantity which will help us do both these things will be economic order quantity. Now see, this is the formula for calculating economic order quantity. So EOQ equals under root 2AO divided by C. Now A here represents annual consumption. So in business, how much units will you be consuming of that particular material? So of that particular each unit of inventory. So annual consumption is represented by A over here. O is ordering cost per order. So every time you are making an order, there is cost involved. So per unit or per order, the ordering cost we will consider over here. C is carrying cost. Carrying cost, in simpler terms, you can keep in mind the storage cost. So the stock which you are maintaining in your business, that involves cost, and that is carrying cost. So carrying cost will be expressed in percentage terms of purchase per unit. So every time, generally in most of the questions, you will find that the carrying cost will be given as the percentage of purchase price per unit. So these things you need to keep in mind. Now these letters may be varied in different books, so don't consider the letters. You can indicate the you need to keep the concept in mind. So A here is annual consumption, O here is ordering cost, and C here is carrying cost. Now let's see, we will solve a numerical to find out the economic order quantity, the number of orders per year, ordering cost, and carrying cost from the following information. So you may wonder that ordering cost and carrying cost we are already having,
Guys,
but
I'm
we
just
will be
skipping this,
calculating the total ordering
calculation
cost
part
and
because I will
total
explain
carrying
you.
cost at a time. And then it means that every time inventory cost, and then we will see what is the volume percentage and the value. So the materials which are having the highest monetary value, we need to focus more on those materials rather than focusing on
Okay, guys, the same slides or the same information I will explain you in my words. So, why we need to talk about the inventory management process, which is going to be very important to us by the all the time. So every time we are talking that to know about the demand in the market, to know about what is the pattern of manufacturing of the product, and relatively we are choosing. Now, how the process will be happen. So you might have come across by half an hour back itself when we talk about supply chain, raw material suppliers, it will reach to the company, and then manufacturing department will be producing that finished product and delivering of the product to the distributors, wholesalers, retailers, or etc. etc. So in the whole manufacturing process, important point we are talking on that what is the style of inventory maintenance at the inventory warehouse. We are having n number of methods, but even we have n number of methods, one of the popular method we have which is going to be called as a economic order quantity. In the name itself they have mentioned very clearly economic order quantity, which is going to be 100% help for your pocket. You know that the better technique of economic order quantity, instead of dumping your investment on one inventory, which is going to be helpful for you to diversify your money on different components. For example, you have 100 rupees with you. Now, these 100 rupees, instead of 100 rupees spending only to buy the rice to fulfill your hungriness, it cannot be satisfied. Now, what you will do? 30 rupees you will spend for the rice, 10 rupees will spend for the oil, 10 rupees will spend for the vegetable. So, like that, you are going to spend different components, and finally, you are going to make it by the lunch or by the dinner. Now here also the economic order quantity, what it was saying like Why are you investing huge quantity of amount on inventory? You did not invest only 50 percentage, 60 percentage. Now how you will know that 50 percentage, 60 percentage of amount we need to spend on economic order quantity? That will be decided by the demand of the product in the market. In other words, the size of inventory what you are buying, whether these materials will have annually demand, yearly will have the demand, or only by the seasonal demand. We need to be know first of all very clearly, and based on that we need to be choose. Can I invest much more or can I follow the same path? Now, when you follow this concept of economic order quantity, you must be understand two important points, which is going to be called as ordering cost. Second one is holding cost. What is this ordering cost? What is this holding cost? Why should we consider these two costs are comes under inventory management? Because you please remember one thing, whatever expenditure which is going to spend by any department at the company, they never spend from their pocket. Whatever the amount they are spending, single NP also they will collect from you only, consumers or buyers. Even if you are paying GST, SGST for buying of the products, you cannot able to get a refund. But these companies are filing and they are getting back GST amount. Now, what is this ordering cost? The ordering cost was saying clearly, just a minute. Okay. The ordering cost was saying clearly while you are giving any orders to the public. Sorry. Whenever you are giving orders to the not public suppliers, while you are giving orders to the suppliers, by that time you need to spend some sort of amount that is going to be called as a ordering cost. For example, I'm running a glass manufacturing company. I need raw material. So when I require the raw material, what I will do is first I will make a call to the suppliers. So suppliers will attend my call and we have a conversation of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So once conversation was got over, finally he said, you please send the post by making a request so that we are going to give you answer in formal way. So what you supposed to do? Again, you need to type all the information on letter. For that, you are using computer, printer, electricity, the service of the clerk. By gathering all this information, you are typing it and you are sending the information to the concerned suppliers. After that, concerned supplier was saying like he will also give a reply to you by saying we are accepting your request and you please make the 10% of amount as a advance payment. Okay, I have given 5 lakhs to him as a 10% of advance. Now all this transaction simply we are going to call it as a ordering cost. For getting a glass material from you, that means by giving an order to you, before that all these are indirect expenditure for me. Now who has to bear this expenditure? Again by the buyers or by the customers, consumers. Whoever using the product, you need to be pay all these charges. So this is going to be called as a ordering cost. Second one, which is going to be deal and talk on that holding cost. So in the name itself, they have mentioned very clearly what is this holding cost. Holding cost means you have given order to the supplier. Now what supplier will do? Once you made the 10 percentage of amount as a advance payment to him, he will deliver the products to you. How he will deliver? He will send all the products, all the raw material by lorry or by the train or by the flight, ship. Once it was reached to the Chennai, you need to take the material. You need to take it to the your warehouse. You need to keep at your warehouse. Again, you need lighting, security, space management, and if in case the warehouse was rented one, you need to pay rent because you are spending 10 percentage means 5 lakhs. That means you are spending around 70 to 80 lakhs of money. So definitely we need insurance for your materials. So all these are going to be called as a holding cost. Until you are using the material, temporarily you are holding, you are storing at your warehouse. All these things are going to be called as a holding cost. So while you are start to use before the product, you will be having ordering cost and as well as by the holding cost. Now, once you know about ordering cost and holding cost, then next we are talking about the formula. Now, this is very simple formula which is going to be showing like how you will be calculating economic order quantity. So every time I'm saying the formula and economic order quantity is wiser one, but I'm not telling you by in detail what is a secret behind this economic order quantity. The secret behind is in a year, how many times you need to spend this order cost, how many times you need to spend the demand cost, how many times you need to spend carrying or you can able to say like the holding cost in a year. All these unnecessary expenditure minimization purpose also we are following by this EOQ technique. Okay, here EOQ is equal root of 2 multiply with D. D stands for demand per year. CO stands for cost per order. CH stands for holding cost. Simply you can say like holding cost. But some other textbook they will mention like 2 multiply with D O by H. O means ordering cost. Here 2 into D into O by H. O means ordering cost, H means holding cost. Of course, that is also very easy to understanding for you. Now, after knowing this formula, now we'll see one example one. So there is a company called DJ company, and this company what they are doing is they are manufacturing of some sort of products. So what they were doing is the problem they were saying 2,400 units will have annually demand for them. For holding up one unit, they are spending around $10. Sorry, for ordering they are spending $10. For holding they are spending $0.30. Now, in a year, how many times they are giving orders? In a year, what is total ordering cost? In a year, what is total holding cost? On an average, how many units they are producing per month? And this is the information we need to be calculated. Now, in simply, I can able to show you here. We can able to take EOQ formula 2 into demand into ordering cost by holding cost. Now 2 as usual, you can see here annual requirement is 2,400. So D means annual demand 2,400 into CO. CO stands for ordering cost. ordering cost is 10, holding cost is 0.30. So ordering cost 10 by holding cost 0.30. Now we need to be calculate 2400 multiply with 2, 4800. 4800 multiply with 10, 48,000. That is what we have written here. 48,000 by 0.30. It will come 1,60,000. So 1,60,000 we are making as a root. Then 400 units. So this is the calculation of the EOQ. Now these 400 units, whatever we calculated, that is going to be called as a EOQ. Now EOQ we are going to be calculating to know about what is the additional cost we are spending on ordering and holding. We are going to be calculating. Now in this slide you can able to find out number of orders per year. So if it is 400 units you are producing, that is a one order. So that means in a year how many orders you are giving. There is a formula called annual demand by EOQ. Annual demand already we know 2400. EOQ just now we calculated 400 units. So 2400 by 400 means in a year we are giving 6 orders. Now whenever you are giving order, every order time what is the cost you are spending, that we want to know. So total orders, now we are calculating the ordering cost. Formula is number of orders per year multiply with cost per order. So already we found that 6 orders in a year. Every time ordering cost is $10. That means 6 into 10, $60 we are spending per year for giving orders to the suppliers. If in case you are giving 12 orders, $120. So before you are giving order to somebody, you must be know that what is the ordering cost and what is the holding cost you are spending for this. So that only you will be very bold and strong enough on that. What is the expenditure we are spending on this? Can we try to minimize those things? Yes. How? By giving nominal or by the minimal orders. Instead of giving 6 orders, if you give only one order, that means $10. Or two times you are giving order, that means only $20. So before you are giving or focusing on one time or 2 times, you must be know that what is the demand of your company products. Based on that, we need to choose by orders per year. Now, by saying this 6 orders per year, being a common man, what I understand is the company is really good. That means it is almost like a 2 months once they are giving order. So what I understood is a good company. So instead of that, they can better to go 3 months once one order. 3 months once one order, because continuously they are manufacturing demand in the market. So you can able to minimize your ordering cost, means you can go 3 months once one order. So you can able to come up with the $30 only. Okay, next we are calculating on holding cost. So holding cost formula is average of units multiply with holding cost per unit. So average of units means we found that total units are 400. So 400 by 2, ultimately it will come 200 as a average units. So 200 multiply with 0.3 means it will come like a $60. So ordering cost is 60, holding cost also to be 60. Next, combinedly we are calculating what is the ordering cost and what is the holding cost. So there is no need formula and all these things. By seeing this, you can able to understand ordering cost is 60, holding cost is 60. So total will come like a $120. So in a year, only for ordering and holding purpose, you are spending this much of money. Now you need to be think, you need to be understand whether you are a wise manager, whether you are really following by the best one or it is going to be required, what do you say, some more best techniques or best methods, or you can able to find out by something more that you need to be identified by the best one. So here I have a small video which is going to be focusing on economic order quantity. So the presentation which was given by an IIT professor, he wants to talk on the EOQ alone. Now this is a simple way of understanding of the EOQ. Now we'll see in a diplomatic way and in practically how they will be solving the calculation of this EOQ.
Namaskar friends, welcome to session 53 in our course on operations management. So today we are going to discuss the economic order quantity model, and we will try to see and understand this model with the help of an example. If you review the previous sessions that we already had in this topic of materials management, we have covered the basic aspects of materials management, why it is required, what are the objectives, what is the scope, what are the responsibilities of the material management department, and then we have tried to understand the classification of the materials. In the last session, if you remember, we have seen ABC analysis, we have seen VED, that vital, essential and desirable materials. And if you remember, we have already put some questions for understanding or for answering. Now these questions are what to order, when to order, how much to order, how many times in a year you must order, and we need to find answers to all these questions when we are managing the inflow of materials into the organization, and then we are using those materials, and finally we are accounting the materials or accounting for the materials that have been procured by the organization. So friends, we need to find answers to all these questions. Now what are the questions? Again I am repeating that what we must order, that is what are the materials to be ordered, how much quantity we must order. Then the next level is that when we must order, so we need to find out the quantity, that is a number. We need to find out the time that when we must order. We need to set the reorder level, that after this much of usage we are going to order the new consignment of materials. So we need to find answers to all these questions, and it is not that difficult. If we have some preliminary data available with us, based on that data very easily we can calculate mathematically that what is our economic order quantity. Many times we will see that we make use of the quantity discounts also, but here today we will take a simple problem without the quantity discount and try to understand that how do we do the calculations based on the economic order quantity. Now first thing we must understand is the three words, that is the economic order and quantity. So first thing is economic, means it is optimal, that if we order this much quantity then we are going to save money. So first thing is economic. Then the order means how much we must order, it should be economic. For example, it should give us the minimum overall material management cost. So whatever we are ordering, whatever volume we are ordering, whatever number we are ordering must be economic. And the last part is the quantity, that is in terms of number. So economic order quantity is a number, that is the number of equipment, number of material, number of, maybe it can be the number in terms of the kgs, number in terms of whatever. It is a maybe a quantity that if we order, our overall cost of materials management will be minimum. Now what will make the cost of material? One will be the cost of material itself, another one is the cost of ordering or placing an order, and the third cost is the cost of maintaining that inventory in our storehouse or the warehouse. So three different costs are involved in materials management: the actual cost of the material, the cost of placing the order, and the carrying cost. So we will try to minimize this overall cost. Our major focus will be on the last two cost components, that is the ordering cost and the carrying cost. So carrying cost will be directly proportional to the period of time for which we are storing our material in the warehouse. Ordering cost is directly proportional to the number of times we are placing an order. For example, if every month we are placing an order and cost of ordering is rupees 10, so 12 into 10 will be the annual ordering cost, because we are ordering 12 times and each time we have to spend rupees 10. Similarly, the carrying cost is usually specified per unit. So if we have 100 units that are stored for 12 months and for every month the cost is rupees 10, so for every unit we will see that for one particular product or one particular raw material component, the cost will be the unit cost of holding it per month multiplied by the number of months for which we are holding that part in the factory or in the warehouse. So if we are talking of 12 months period, it is stored for 12 months, 12 multiplied by the unit cost of per month, so that is rupees 10 per month. So 120 rupees will be the carrying cost per unit for that part which has been stored for 12 months, and unit cost is rupees 10 per month. So therefore the addition of these two costs will be the total cost of managing the inventory, and the cost of material will then be added into this total inventory cost to get the total cost of the material. So we have to see that what is the economic order quantity that we must order in order to minimize the total cost that we are spending on inventory management. And this is our topic today, how to calculate this economic order quantity. Now let us start our presentation with this brief introduction about economic order quantity. EOQ is optimal order quantity that will minimize the total inventory costs. As I have already explained, it is the optimal or the economic order quantity that will minimize the total inventory cost. So we are not focusing on the actual cost of the raw material or the component or the part for which we are doing the economic order analysis or economic order quantity analysis. We are focusing on the inventory costs only, and inventory costs are two types of costs only: the carrying cost and the second one is the ordering cost. So sometimes the carrying cost is also used by many authors as the holding cost. So we are using carrying cost for keeping the inventory in the warehouse, and the other one is the ordering cost that we have to pay while placing the order, or the cost spent in ordering the material. So basic EOQ model we will try to understand with the help of a diagram, and then there is another model which is a production quantity model, which also helps us to calculate the order quantity which we must order in order to minimize the total inventory costs. Now, before this model is explained with the help of a diagram, let us see what are the assumptions of the economic order quantity model. And these assumptions have to be kept in mind, because these are the assumptions based on which the model has been developed or the equations have been developed. So first is that the demand is known with certainty and is constant over time. So it is very easy to understand that whatever we are producing, the materials are being used for that production process, the demand for that product is constant. So constantly the materials will be used, and we have to maybe have a relationship of the use of materials which is linear, because there is a constant demand for that product in which we are using the material. So the demand is known with certainty and is constant over time. So for variable demand or variable consumption of materials, this type of model is not valid. No shortages are allowed. So it is never going to happen that there is a shortage and the process has been stopped. So the model is valid only when there are no shortages happening during the production process. Lead time for the receipt of orders is constant. Suppose the lead time is 7 days, and on September 21st I am ordering, so it is bound that after 7 days I will get the order. Again I am ordering on January 21st, after 7 days the order must be at my premises. That is the lead time between placing the order and receiving the quantity is fixed and is not variable. It will not vary, otherwise the model is not valid. And last is order quantity is received all at once. So we are not getting our order maybe after maybe at a rate. At a rate means that suppose we have ordered 100 components. On September 21st we have ordered 100 components. So it is assumed in EOQ model that if the lead time is 7 days, after 7 days we will get all 100 component in a single consignment or in a single packet. It is not going to happen that after 7 days we are receiving 20 components first, and then after 2 days another 20 components, and over the next 5 days we are getting 20 components every day and then multiplied by 5 days. So we are getting our order as 5 different packets of 20 each, adding up to 100. No. All 100 will come together and will be received in our factory or in our premises all at once. So under these assumptions the economic order quantity model has been developed. So if this type of scenario exists in the organization, it is easy for the organization to calculate that what is going to be the economic order quantity for the company. Again I will read all these points for you. Demand is known with certainty and is constant over time. No shortages of material are allowed. Lead time for the receipt of orders is constant, and order quantity is received all at once. So we will see that when the model changes, some of the assumptions also change. Now this is the inventory order cycle on your screen. On y-axis we have the order quantity, or we can also call it as the inventory level, or the number of components that are available in the warehouse or the storehouse. So it is being represented by Q. On y-axis we have the quantity. On x-axis we have the time. You can see here it is time. So it is a plot between the quantity where that is available or the inventory that is available on day 0 with the time on x-axis. So we can see here this is the demand rate, as we have assumed that demand rate is constant over time. So the rate of usage of material is constant over time, and that will depend upon the product that we are producing. If continuously we are producing the product, our demand rate will be constant over time. So the demand of the product is constant, and therefore the demand of the material requirement is also constant. Why? Because suppose we are producing 100 cars per week, and this demand is constant. So 100 cars per week means that we may require 400 tires per week, or maybe we may require 100 steering wheel systems per week. So depending upon that, the 100, that demand rate is constant for the steering wheel systems or the tires for the automobile. So if the production is continuous, demand is constant, so this demand rate will automatically be constant. So here the demand rate as per assumption is constant, and you can see that the quantity is being used continuously over a period of time. As soon as you reach the reorder point, that is depicted by the red line here. So as soon as we reach the reorder point, we have to place a new order. So here we place the new order, and this is the lead time. On time scale, this dotted green line depicts the time when we have placed the order, and when we are receiving our order, this is the lead time. So we receive our order here, and as is the assumption that all the volume of material or all the number of material that we have ordered, suppose 100 components or 100 parts we have ordered, all will be received all at once. So we receive 100 here, and our quantity in the inventory again is replenished and comes to the original Q level of our maybe inventory. So this is the order quantity. Initially we had Q, so suppose we had 100, we are using it at a constant rate. Maybe after we have used 80, this is maybe representing 20. So when 20 are left with us, we reorder. So we use those 20, and by the time we are at zero level, our 100 components have again arrived, because we have ordered when we were left with 20. So again we have 100, so 100 is replenished here. Again we start using those 100 components at a constant demand rate, and once we have reached this reorder level of 20, we reorder, and when we have finished the usage of these 20, again it is replenished by 100 components, and this cycle continues. And to add to this cycle, we also have a safety stock which is below this zero level. So in many cases we will keep a safety stock also. Suppose because of any problem this lead time is extended, or we are not able to maybe get our replenishment of material here, this may further go down and take the material from the safety stock, and again as soon as the order is received, we replenish it to the order quantity level. So this is our maybe economic order quantity model. Based on this, now we have to find out the order quantity, that what is the order quantity which will give us the minimum total cost of inventory management. So here we can see in economic order quantity model, we see that there are two types of costs involved. As I have already explained in the beginning of this session, that we have a cost of placing an order, and we have a cost annual per unit carrying cost, which I have explained in the beginning today, that suppose the annual cost we have to calculate for inventory management. So the carrying cost is, suppose I have taken an example, rupees 10 per month for every component. So the 10 per component per month multiplied by 12 months, so annual cost will be 12 into 10 for one component. Suppose that component is stored in inventory for one complete year, so it will be 120 rupees. So that is the carrying cost for that component, and ordering cost will be based on the number of orders. So suppose we order every month and the cost of placing the order is rupees 10, so we are placing 12 orders, so 12 into 10, 120 will become the ordering cost. So number of orders into the cost of placing a one order or a single order will give us the annual ordering cost, and similarly the annual carrying cost per component. So sometimes we may have the carrying cost on daily basis also, that carrying cost for the component is rupees maybe 50 paise or rupees 1 per day. So that is also possible. So these are the two types of costs involved in managing the inventory. Now in order to do the calculation, we must have the annual demand. That is, what is going to be the requirement of the material for which we want to identify or calculate the economic order quantity, what is going to be the annual demand of that material. Also, the Q is the order quantity, which is our variable for which we want to calculate that what must be the optimum order quantity. Now, the annual ordering cost. Annual ordering cost, as I have already explained, will be the cost of placing the order, single order, and multiplied by the number of orders. The number of orders, how we can get or how we can calculate, it will depend upon the total annual demand as well as the quantity that we are ordering once. So suppose the annual demand is 10,000 parts or components. So annual demand is 10,000 components. Order quantity, suppose we decide that we are ordering 200 parts in one order. Now 10,000 divided by 20 or maybe 200, we will get the number of orders, and this number of orders multiplied by the cost of placing an order will give us the annual ordering cost. So I think I have made it clear that we have taken an example that the annual demand is 10,000 and Q we are assuming, for example, 200 per order we are doing. So 10,000 divided by 200 will give us the number of orders, and multiplied by the ordering cost per order will give us the annual ordering cost. Similarly, we have to calculate the annual carrying cost also, and that can be calculated by the carrying cost per component into Q. Q is our order or the order quantity. So carrying cost, but usually we divide it by 2. Why we have divided it by 2? Because we take the average quantity for doing the carrying cost analysis. Why? Because suppose today in the beginning of the month I have 100 components in my inventory. Over the month I am using it, and towards the end of the month I may be left with 0 component. So the components are being used continuously, and therefore we take a average value of the quantity. And many times it may so happen that we receive the order in the middle of the month and the parts are used maybe in the second week of the month, and then the new order is coming. So whatever we are getting towards the middle of the month, again we have started to use it for the next 15 days. So therefore we take the average value of the quantity, that is Q by 2. So we know that what is the carrying cost per component, multiplied by the number of components we can calculate the annual carrying cost, but the number of components will be taken as an average. So then the total cost will be, the total inventory cost will be the ordering cost plus the carrying cost. So again, just to, because the formula will be based on these two quantities only, so let us again maybe try to understand the annual ordering cost. So annual ordering cost is the cost of placing a single order multiplied by the number of orders. The number of orders we can calculate by the annual demand divided by the quantity that we are ordering in a single order. So that will give us the number of orders. So the number of orders, when we will multiply by the cost of a single order, we will get the annual ordering cost. And similarly, annual carrying cost will be the cost of carrying one particular part or equipment multiplied by the number of parts or components. So that will give us our average value of the number of parts or component. When we add the two, carrying and the ordering cost, we will get the total cost. Now let us try to find out how these will vary with the quantity, with the parameter Q. Now this is the annual cost on y-axis. On x-axis we have the order quantity. So we can see if the order quantity.
Yeah, I understood. You can leave now. You can join for the next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And I request